Hello, boys and girls. Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast here, and I'm here to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Apocalypse Bourbon Cocktail, and as always, is the featured cocktail in today's episode. I'm going to start with cocktail shaker with ice and a glass with ice. We're going to combine all the ingredients in the glass with ice. We're going to need 1 ounce of bourbon. Three-quarter ounces of Kahlua. Give or take. 1 ounce peppermint schnapps. Oh. And 1 ounces vodka. All liquor, boys and girls. Then we combine. I assume that means stir. I don't know. Then we pour it into our shaker with ice. So now there's extra ice in there. And then we shake vigorously for 30 seconds. Then we're going to strain into a glass over ice. Lots of ice in this cocktail. There you have it, boys and girls. The Apocalypse Bourbon Cocktail. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. See ya.
Are you old enough to remember Y2K? You know, where the world was going to end because all the computers were going to implode? I am. And what better movie to stoke all those fears than this week's episode of the Scary Spirits Podcast, 1999's End of Days. It's what I'm calling an action horror film. I say I, because Greg isn't exactly on board with my new genre term. But this movie definitely has action. Lots of action. Probably unnecessary action. Plus, Arnold Schwarzenegger and fire. So much fire. And it also has the devil arriving on Earth to conceive the Antichrist and killing anyone in his way. See? Action. Horror. The term totally works. Cheers, and Happy New Year from the Scary Spirits Podcast.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg,
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
and welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
Well, we're ready to start anew, aren't we, Greg?
You're not still feeling festive? Did you get all your festivities out of you?
Well, you can still feel festive now, but now's the time for like New Year's resolutions. You got any?
Hell no, Karen. Do you?
I suppose I could try to be more delightful.
Oh, how could that be
I
possible?
don't know. It's a tough one, though. Setting the bar pretty high. Anyway, how are you, Greg?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. For the
Think
most
you'll
part. Little
think you're
under the
gonna?
weather. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. If I start sounding like Louis Armstrong, you'll know why. Because that
Think
was
you'll
me for a few days,
think you'll make it to midnight?
I assume.
You used to beat pots and pans when it became midnight. We used to do that when we were kids.
No, Karen, I will not make it to midnight, probably. Now that I think
Oh,
about it. I did used to beat pots and pans. Yes, I did.
very exciting stuff.
Yeah, then we graduated to firearms and,
Well, I never did that,
I never did either. But I had friends who did.
but I graduated to other things.
Well, as you do, Karen, as you
Yeah.
do. I assume you had a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, I had a great Christmas. How about you?
It was one of the best Christmases ever.
Ah, I have a feeling I know what you did.
Wife and I sat around and looked at each other because we were both
Aw.
sick.
Oh,
But yeah, it was good. All right, Karen, was this film your choice to
it
celebrate
was.
this New Year's Eve? It's New Year's Eve.
I know. It's
Karen,
crazy.
if you're listening to this when it goes live, boys and girls, any reason you chose this film, Karen? Does it have a New Year's Eve tie-in?
It does.
Oh, look at you. What film
I,
have you chosen for us, Karen?
I chose the 1999 End of Days.
Do we have a cocktail to go with it to celebrate the new year? Maybe something with some champagne in it,
Something uplifting and exciting.
sparkling wine,
No,
something
we've
light
got,
and bubbly.
I picked a real uplifting cocktail, Greg. You want to tell everyone what it is?
Karen, it's the Apocalypse Bourbon Cocktail. Sounds very uplifting and
Doesn't
positive
it?
to me.
Yes, for the new year.
Yeah, celebrate the new year. We're going to need 1 ounce of bourbon, 3/4 ounce of Kahlua, 1 ounce of peppermint schnapps, and 1 ounce of vodka. It's all alcohol, boys and girls. Look at Karen. She picked this.
Trying to make Greg happy for the new year. Trying to earn points.
And we're going to need a lot of ice, apparently, Karen, because we're going to add ice to a cocktail shaker. Then we're going to combine all ingredients in a glass with ice. Then we're going to add all the ingredients to the shaker. We're going to shake vigorously for 30 seconds. And then we're going to strain into a glass over more ice, Karen.
That's how I like it.
Lots
Extra
of ice.
frosty.
And we're going to garnish as desired, Karen.
Ooh.
Did you desire
I did not
garnish?
desire to garnish.
I did not either.
And full disclosure, our ice maker's broken, so I have no ice.
I'm sorry, Karen.
I know it is devastating. It is a loss.
It's pretty good. Yeah, you can't even tell it's all alcohol.
I can.
I bet you love the Kahlua in it. Then
Yes.
as well. It's only
So
3/4 ounce, though. You
mm,
can hardly taste it, actually.
just puts that extra,
It helps mellow it, I think.
probably, yeah.
All right, Karen, should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own Apocalypse Bourbon Cocktail?
Let's do that.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, Karen, might you have a brief synopsis for us of this film from way, way back in the last millennium, 1999?
I do.
Go on, tell us all a story.
A private security guard finds himself caught up in an apocalyptic conflict. The devil's only chance of getting out of his eternal prison is to mate with a chosen girl in the last hour of the millennium. And the guard finds himself having to protect the woman from an enemy in whom he does not even believe.
Thank you, Karen. We are a match. All right. Tell us everything you really
Wait.
enjoyed.
Before we even do that, Greg, you're an IT guy, and maybe we've talked about this before, and if we have, I forgot. How much of an apocalypse was 1999 to 2000? Were people really worried?
Yes, Karen, people were really worried. It was kind of a big deal, but
were
it was fine.
But were the IT people worried? I mean, I wasn't that worried. I know it was kind of a big deal. I'm asking you as a computer guy, was there really a chance that everything was going to go to shit or not?
No.
Okay. That's what I figured.
The information technology people around the world had plenty of time, Karen, to prepare.
Right? You would think. But
yes, the new millennium. And we did, I mean, it was kind of surprising now that I think about it, the things we did have to do. I mean, there were patches and updates we had to install that, accounted for the calendar and whatnot, but it was fine.
Hey, I was just curious because I remember being very nonchalant about it and then realizing almost at the last minute that I was screwed if it really did go to shit because I had not prepared at all. I was like, it'll be fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but you have to kind of consider that it wasn't just your operating system manufacturers that had to account for this, right? It wasn't just your Apples and your Microsofts and your Linux, which is open source, but whatever, or your Novell or whatever back in the day. But every software manufacturer had to come up with a patch for it, or, they were smart enough to
hire someone,
or, to make it so that, hey, yeah, we can go to 2000, no problem. Now, when we go to 10,000, now that may be a problem, Karen.
Gotcha.
Because that's an extra digit. That's
not our problem.
One to a two. That's an extra digit.
That's not our problem.
It won't be. All right, Karen, tell us everything you really enjoyed or were pleasantly surprised by in this film.
It is action filled, which it keeps it keeps moving. It doesn't drag, I don't think. I thought it was pretty well cast. I'm not an Arnold fan, but I don't think he was terrible. But I liked everyone else. There's some really cool lighting in it once in a while. I hope I made notes when I was watching it. The story's interesting. I don't know if the biblical stuff is true. I don't know the Bible well enough to know if what they're quoting exists or even was a prophecy. But we've seen the astrological prophecy in the Omen and stuff. So there must be something in there, right? It's a little bit reminiscent of the Omen, but it's like an action Omen. It doesn't have the intensity or the philosophical or the finesse of the Omen, but it kind of has a similar sort of story a little bit, but it's more Arnold action. But I thought the effects were pretty good. I guess that's all I have. Do you have anything that you liked?
First thing I wrote down is there's good music in it. I got that from the very opening credits. It was good music.
The chanting?
No, the music.
Oh.
The chanting didn't hurt, though.
No.
There were some good shots in it, along with good lighting, like you said. The effects are pretty good. I wrote, as an action adventure, it's okay. And I wrote, there's lots of fire, Karen. Lots of fire.
Lots of fire. Well, it's the devil.
Yeah, and you were comparing it to The Omen. The only other film I wrote down as I was watching it was The Seventh Sign. This is more like a Seventh Sign.
You're probably right. Yeah, for sure. But it has that same kind of story of trying to produce the Antichrist.
Yeah.
You're right. The Seventh Sign is a better comparison.
I guess that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. What did the synopsis say he has to do?
He has to get out of prison by mating with someone.
Prison. So they're not really making an antichrist. He just has to
But he has to
have
mate with
sex with
someone.
some woman to get out of prison. He's not
Yeah,
creating
but
a child.
no, it is, yeah, it is to
All
conceive a
right. Well, that's
child.
not what the synopsis said.
No, but that's what the movie says.
Okay.
I will say the church doesn't come out as horrible as usual in this one. I really thought that because I'm so jaded that the Pope was going to be in on it. Like I thought that the church was going to be much more complicit, and in this movie they aren't.
Well, the church has all those little, different sects, and those
Well, I'm
damn
just
Masons.
well, but I'm saying usually in these types of movies you can't count on the priest, and here you kind of could.
Well, we
Which
have
was
the Masons in there, so they never come out good. So
well, that's true. They
especially
didn't.
when they're a part of the church. But that's all I wrote. Anything you did not particularly enjoy? Anything you did not like?
It's a little convoluted. I'm not sure. I think the story's fine. I think the movie doesn't exactly drag, but I don't know how to explain. It just seemed like a lot. There was a lot to get in there. And like I said, I'm not a big Arnold fan, and I don't think he was as good as the other actors in it, but I don't think he was bad. I just think they wanted an action adventure, they wanted his name, and he did all right. But as you've said before, it is, if we call The Seventh Sign or The Omen a horror film, then it's a horror film. But this was more of an action horror film. Like there was action first more than there was the story. I guess that might be what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of action that really didn't need to be there, but that's the kind of film it was. But there is horror in it. The story is like The Seventh Sign or even The Omen, but they kind of bury the story in action, if that makes sense. That's all I have. I didn't really. I mean, there's all the unbelievable stuff in it, but I thought Gabriel Byrne was really good. I should have said. I just noticed. I wrote down as the devil. I thought he was good looking enough, has enough charisma, can make a facial expression that hardens and makes you think he's evil. I thought he did really well. But that's all I have for not liking. What do you got? Got a long list?
So I should have said about things I liked that most of the acting was pretty good. All right, now to what I did not like.
I like the girl.
Number one, first thing I wrote is it's not horror.
How can you say it's not horror if you say The
Ah.
Seventh Sign is horror?
Well, I'm not even sure the Seventh Sign is. The Omen is.
Well, why is the Omen horror?
It's different.
In what way?
Different. There's a lot more story there.
I'll agree with that.
A lot
but
more.
that,
A
I
lot
think
more deaths and a lot more people
deaths.
to
Oh my
get
God,
rid
people.
of.
These were
But I'm talking important deaths. These
yes,
people were just
significant.
extras.
I think the stories, like I said, the story's there. It's just buried. Anyway, go ahead.
I wrote it's long,
It is long.
2 hours and 2 minutes, but like there's 10 minutes of credits,
Yeah.
counting the beginning and end. I did not care for the girl or Arnold
You didn't like
as
the
far as
girl?
acting. No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought she was good.
I didn't.
Well, then you're probably not going to like the film.
He's a little stiff. I wrote lots of action, but no story.
Well, I think there's a story.
There was a story, but
Maybe I just inferred the story because I kind of know the story. Not, like the general story, not specifically, but that the devil comes out and needs to find a girlfriend kind of story.
no. And that's all I wrote.
I liked it more than I thought I would. These aren't usually the kind of movies
I
that I
wanted
like.
to.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
I did, but that's just because my bar was low.
But it was pretty good as an action.
Had you seen
But-
it before?
No, but
No.
it's silly. They're silly. Action adventure films in general are silly. Everyone's got endless bullets.
Well, that's true.
It's just crazy. Shit happens that, yeah. It was one stunt after another there for a while.
Yeah,
A
it's
good one.
it's very 90s, late 90s movie. I liked how they kind of made it topical. came out in 1999. Everyone was talking about Y2K. They kind of they worked that horror edge into it. I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's not a last story. Maybe they rushed to get it out
Maybe, I
before,
don't know.
because they didn't know if they would have an opportunity.
Yeah, because, the world was going to end.
That's right. The apocalypse was upon us. Not gonna lie, I was nervous from time to time, but it was fun.
About the apocalypse, about Y2K.
Yeah.
I think I was just oblivious. I think I was in grad school and I was like, if it ends, it ends. I'm all right.
All right. What kind of cocktail rating do you want to give this film, Karen?
I'd give it a 3. It's fine.
It's fine. It's a 3.
I think the only issue now is it doesn't hold the weight it did then. Because we all know that Y2K, nothing came of it. So that doesn't have that foreboding or heaviness about it.
Built-in fear.
Yeah, because even if
if you were in the audience in 1999,
yeah, because wasn't it, when did it come out? November? When was it?
it was released November 24th.
I mean, that's getting right in
Probably Thanksgiving weekend.
that's right in the mix of when you'd start to be, the normal person would be like, oh shit, it's almost the end of the year. Maybe I should think about this.
Should I buy presents or not?
Should I visit family or should I,
Doesn't it matter?
what should I do?
Oh, the dilemmas, Karen.
I just think, then it might have put a bug in your ear. Now it's like, that was nothing.
All right. Would you like to hear a review from the time, Karen?
Absolutely. What do you got?
First, I have to tell you this is a 5.8 out of 10 approval rating on IMDb, an 11% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, really?
That's what I have here. What do you think Google users think, Karen?
78%.
88%, Karen.
Oh, well, see how that's misleading. 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. How am I supposed to get to 88 on Google? That's just crazy talk.
Verifying my sources, yes, Karen, 11%.
I believe you. That's quite
I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I fucked up, but I didn't.
Quite the spread there. That'd be hard to cover.
Review I have is from Roger Ebert, Karen. A review dated November 24th, 1999, the day it came out.
Oh.
And it's pretty long, and I haven't really read it before, but I'm going to read it all, I guess. There are forces here you couldn't possibly comprehend. You can say that again. End of Days opens with a priest gazing out his window at the Vatican City and seeing a comet arching over the moon like an eyebrow. He races to an old wooden box, snatches up a silver canister, pulls out an ancient scroll, unrolls it, and yes, a drawing of a comet arching above the moon like an eyebrow. For this is the dreaded celestial display known as the Eye of God. The priest burst into an inner chamber of the Vatican where the Pope sits surrounded by advisors. The child will be born today, he gasps. Then we cut to New York City, 1979, and a live childbirth scene, including, of course, the obligatory command, push! A baby girl is born, and a nurse takes the infant in its swaddling clothes and races to a basement room of the hospital where the child is anointed with the blood of a freshly killed rattlesnake before being returned to the arms of its mother.
Okay, so I did make a note that it was refreshing that they didn't just steal the baby. They did give it back.
They did. Already I am asking myself, where is William Donahue when we need him?
Who's that? Is that an Omen thing?
You don't know who William Donahue is, Karen?
Obviously I should. Who is it?
He has been the president of the Catholic League in the United States since 1993.
Is he still?
Yes.
Okay.
He still is. But then Roger goes on to say, why does his Catholic League attack a sweet comedy like Dogma? Which I saw Dogma. That's that Kevin Smith thing. I'm pretty sure.
I have not seen that.
But give a pass to End of Days, in which we learn that once every 1,000 years a woman is born who, well, that's not true. Well, I guess it kind of is. If she is impregnated 20 years later by the Prince of Darkness during the hour from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. on the last day of the millennium, will give birth to the Antichrist, who will bring about, yes, the end of days. So I guess he thought it was the
See?
Antichrist too. I didn't really get that. I wasn't even sure what the whole sex thing was for. But meanwhile, an internal Vatican battle rages between those who want to murder the woman and the Pope who says we must put our faith in God. Question mark. Roger writes. The murder of the woman would, of course, be a sin, but perhaps justifiable under the circumstances, especially since the humble instrument chosen by God to save the universe is an alcoholic bodyguard named Jericho Kane, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jericho and his partner, Chicago, that's the guy's name, find themselves investigating a puzzling series of events, including a man with his tongue cut out who nevertheless screams a warning and is later nailed to the ceiling of his hospital room.
This is quite the detailed review.
I know. We don't even have to go to it into
I
scene by
know.
scene.
Thank you. Good night.
Movies like this are particularly vulnerable to logic, and End of Days even has a little fun trying to sort out the reasoning behind the satanic timetable. When Jericho has the Millennium Eve timetable explained to him, including the requirement that the Prince of Darkness do his dirty deed precisely between 11 p.m. and midnight, he asks the very question I was asking myself. Eastern Standard Time?
That was pretty funny.
The answer, this is what I was wondering too. The answer, Jericho is told, is that the exact timing is meticulously worked out centuries ago by the Gregorian monks. And indeed, their work on this project included, as a bonus spin-off, the invention of the Gregorian calendar. Let's see, Rome is 7 hours ahead of New York. In other words, those clever monks said the baby will be conceived between 6 and 7 a.m. on January 1st, Rome time, but that will be 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. in a city that does not yet exist, on a continent we have no knowledge of, assuming the world is round and there are different times in different places as it revolves around the sun, which, of course, it would be a heresy to suggest. I like this review. Roger, I like Roger.
He's on point.
With headaches like this, no wonder they invented Gregorian chants to take the load off, Karen. Got to take the load off and chant. And of course, they made wine. End of Days involves a head-on collision between the ludicrous and the absurd, in which a supernatural being with the outward appearance of Gabriel Byrne pursues a 20-year-old woman named Christine around Manhattan, while Jericho tries to protect her. This being a theological struggle, Schwarzenegger style, the battle to save Christine involves a scene where a man dangles from a helicopter while chasing another man across the rooftop, and a scene in which a character clings by his fingertips to a high window ledge, and a scene in which a runaway subway train explodes, and a scene in which fireballs consume square blocks of Manhattan, and a scene in which someone is stabbed with a crucifix. But the violence raises another question. How exactly do the laws of physics apply to the Byrne character? Called the Man in the credits, he is Satan himself, for my money, yet seems to have variable powers. Jericho shoots him and he pulls up his shirt so we can see the bullet holes healing. But when Jericho switches to a machine gun, the bullets hurl the man backward and put him out of commission for a time before he attacks again. What are the rules here? Is he issued only so much anti-injury mojo per millennium? The movie's final confrontation is a counterpoint to the Times Square countdown toward the year 2000. Only a churl would point out that the new millennium actually begins a year later, on the last day of 2000. Even then, End of Days would find a loophole. This is the first movie to argue seriously that 666, the numerical sign of Satan, is actually 999 upside down. So that's all you have to do is add a 1, and whoa, you get 1999.
That the end of it?
That's the end.
He didn't really, I guess he says he doesn't really like it.
Pretty much.
It's a movie.
I think he uses the word absurd.
But you always say I think too much. I think Roger was thinking too much.
Could be.
Although it's a very nice review. It's funny.
It is. It is pretty good. And then
He's not wrong.
he is not. Surprised you didn't know who William Donahue was.
I've been out for a long time, Craig.
Well, he's been the head of the Catholic League since 1993.
I've been out for a long time, Craig.
All right, Karen. Are we ready to get into it scene by scene?
No.
Or would you like to hear what I have chosen for next week's film?
That's what I would love to hear, Greg. What have you chosen for next week?
Next week, Karen, I have chosen a Hammer film.
What?
Shocking,
What?
from 1966.
Even more shocking. What is it?
A film called Plague of the Zombies.
Okay. Any reason you picked that particular one?
Because it's a Hammer film, Karen.
That's
I
it?
do believe. I do believe, yes.
Okay. Do you have a drink to go with that?
I do, Karen.
Excellent. What are we going to be drinking while we watch this masterpiece?
I don't like your tone. The cocktail I have chosen is a cocktail called the Voodoo cocktail, Karen.
Ooh, nice.
Spelled VOODEW.
Oh.
So we're going to need a Mountain Dew, Karen. 4 ounces of Mountain Dew. Or
Oh,
Diet Mountain Dew.
goodness.
Which is what I
Okay.
will be having. 1 ounce of coconut rum. A half an ounce of silver rum. 1 ounce of pineapple juice. A grilled pineapple wedge if you want to be fancy, and
Grilled? Wow.
1 grilled pineapple wedge if you want to be fancy and you desire it, Karen. And ice is needed.
I might desire it. I don't know.
I'm not going to desire it. We're going to fill a rocks glass with ice. We're going to add coconut rum, silver rum, pineapple juice, and top with Mountain Dew. Boy, howdy. What does the guy say? What's the Mountain Dew guy?
I don't know.
I don't know what he says.
Do the do.
Do
Isn't
the
that
do.
what it is?
I'm thinking about the old Mountain Dew guy.
Oh, I don't know that.
You know, the old hillbilly dude. Then we're going to stir and garnish with a grilled pineapple.
Okay, sounds good. I guess. God, I can't even remember the last time I had Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he says, Yahoo, Mountain Dew. And it'll tickle your innards, Karen. Drink Mountain Dew. It'll tickle your innards.
Not sure that sounds appealing to me.
Remember the Mountain Dew hillbilly guy?
I do not.
You don't?
Nope.
He was on every bottle, Karen. Every
I
can.
I'm not sure. I don't think I ever drank Mountain Dew. I told you I was a Jolt Cola girl.
So that'll be next week. It's a simple cocktail, and it sounds delicious. Rum and Mountain Dew. Mm-mm. And pineapple. Sounds like a lanai drink.
It does.
All right, Karen, are you ready to get into this scene by scene?
I think Roger already did it for us, but
I know. And I got like 8 pages here, and I'm like, do I have to go through this 8 pages really
I mean,
now?
he really kind of told us everything
Yeah,
we
he
need
put
to
it
know.
down. He did it in like 8 paragraphs. It took me 8 pages.
I know. But anyone who wants to hang around and listen to our version,
Listen to our drunken ramblings.
yes. Thank you for that.
All right, Karen. End of Days from 1999. Rated R for flashing lights, language, strong violence and gore, and strong sexual content.
I wouldn't call it strong sexual content. Well, there's a little, I guess.
Where did you watch this, Karen?
I had to watch it on Amazon.
I did as well. Film starts. We have credits. And I wrote, "Is there burning scripture?" Question mark.
Lots of fire, I said.
Lots of
Church.
religious symbolism too.
Church symbolism and chanting.
Then we have words to read. Vatican City, Rome, 1979.
There is a full moon, of course.
As Roger said, a full moon with a comment over top of it,
Yep.
like an eyebrow. Guy grabs the scrolls and we learn it's the eye of God. Priest reports to the Pope, just like Roger said, child will be born today. Pope says she must be found. Some of the priests there say she must be killed. Pope wants to protect her. And I says, he's speaking Italian.
He
We have
is.
subtitles. All right. In 1979, was the Pope Italian, Karen? Or did they just speak Italian, all of them, because of the Pope?
Well, they do probably all of them speak Italian, but I would assume the Pope was Italian. They usually were. I think the Polish Pope was the first one in a long time to break that. But I
Words.
could be wrong. I've been out for a long time.
Words to read, Karen. New York City, 6 hours later. Woman giving birth, just like Roger said. Baby girl. Nurse takes the baby to clean it up. Elevator down. She goes to the morgue, I think. Place the baby on some parchment, and she has a birthmark, which Roger didn't mention, apparently, which looks like a zodiac symbol, but they think it's like the sign of the devil. I think it's like Virgo or something.
Yeah, it does look like that. Well, I don't know if it's Virgo, but it does look like a zodiac sign or a Greek letter, even.
Oh, it's most like Leo, I guess, but not quite. But it's I'm sure it's a sign of a planet. I've seen that sign before, Karen.
No.
If I had to guess, it might be Saturn. Let's see. Nope, it's not Saturn. I don't know what it is. But anyway, the guy holding the baby has a pentagram necklace. Well, I guess he's performing some rites. Sacrifices a rattlesnake, says some Latin, I believe. Karen, did you catch anything of what he said?
I did not.
And he feeds the baby some rattlesnake blood.
I just thought that was a pretty cool scene, I thought. It's very demonic. And like I said, it was refreshing. They didn't just steal the baby. She didn't just, because I thought she was just going to run out of the hospital with it. But she just went to the morgue and they do their little ritual. And then she comes back up and she's like, here's your baby.
Nurse brings baby back to mom and she calls her Christine.
Which is a little ironic, right? Christine.
Why? Because my first wife was named Christine.
No, because Christ.
Oh, Christ.
Instead of Chris, it's not Christopher, it's Christine. Interesting.
Okay. Words to read 20 years later, Tuesday, December 28th, 1999, New York City.
And here I thought, oh, this movie's going to move fast.
Yeah, we're already 20 years later. 3 more nights till the millennium. We hear lots of talk of that.
Lots of radio shows talking about it.
Then we have utility workers, and one says there's some high pressure, and then I wrote, this is an earthquake? Everything starts shaking, and then fires start coming out of the manholes. And
yeah, I thought they were in the sewer, but apparently they're in the gas lines.
a figure escapes the fire.
It's kind of see-through, right?
Is this supposed to be a spirit? Question mark.
I think it is.
Then I wrote, Gabriel Byrne having dinner. Spirit follows him to the men's room. Water in the tap stops flowing. Spirit enters him. He convulses. He comes out back to the dinner with the couple he is dining with. He grabs the woman's breast and kisses her.
Like pulls it out of her dress. Like it's very, it was interesting that, of course, the man that he gets upset, but none of the other diners seem to even notice. I guess it's New York.
He leaves. I wrote, she seems to have liked it.
Yes.
By the look on her face. Restaurant explodes and he walks through the fire.
He does that a lot.
And I call him Satan from now on because I knew that's who he was. Words to read. Wednesday, December 29th, 1999. We see Jericho Kane with a gun, Karen. Lots of biblical names in this film, too. Jericho, Cain,
yeah,
Satan, Marge Francis, Dr. Abel, the psychiatrist.
Thomas Aquinas, too.
Yeah. Pope. He holds it to his head. Then Bobby Chicago enters and stops him.
He doesn't.
Bobby Chicago.
He just enters at the appropriate time. He doesn't like run in and grab the gun or anything.
And
but he does.
Apparently they're going to protect some Wall Street banker guy.
So we learn he's got a death wish.
And Jericho makes himself a shake, Karen.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Shake. I didn't write down everything he put in it, but it looked interesting.
Well, just to give you an idea, for those of you listening, he puts in a piece of pizza, old Chinese food.
After he dropped it on the floor.
Yeah, the coffee that his buddy brought, some alcohol, and then he drinks it. It's a powerful blender, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yes.
We learn he works for Stryker Security. So then we see him guarding this guy, and they arrive at their intended location. I wrote they're protecting Satan because he gets out of the car, and it's Gabriel Byrne, so I call him Satan from now on. Jericho sees a shooter up in the fire escapes above, and he pushes Satan into the car, and he takes a bullet or two or three, I think, for
Two,
Satan.
I think.
The car drives away. We learn Jericho has a bulletproof vest on.
Okay, so stop. I'm just assuming that it's a Kevlar vest.
Yes, probably
So,
is.
any idea what year Kevlar was invented?
It's wow. So I used Kevlar drum heads in the 80s. So I'm gonna say this is probably a 60s thing. 64.
Kevlar was invented by a woman, a chemist,
Well, duh.
Stephanie Kwolek at DuPont
Yeah,
in
DuPont. I was gonna say.
1965.
See,
During an
I didn't want to say 65 because then it would be like, it's all about me, but go on.
during an experiment to create strong, lightweight fibers for car tires, leading to a cloudy water-like polymer solution she instinctively tested to find it produced a fiber 5 times stronger than steel, eventually becoming the famous protective material. It was also used in tires, some form of it, but that's what its original
And drum heads,
purpose.
Karen. And drum
Yes.
heads.
Its original purpose was for tires, but kind of cool that 1965, a woman chemist invented it. I was excited to see that.
They hop on a helicopter, Karen, and head to the roof.
What I thought during this whole thing that's going to happen here is, would you really do that if you were security?
No.
No, but of course, this is the Arnold factor that we're doing here. But go ahead. I'm just like, he's really taking this job seriously.
Yeah, he's pissed off. Well, we learn he's a former cop, so I guess that's what he does.
With it,
I
now
don't know.
and he has a death wish, so you know.
Shooter opens fire on them. Gun jams, question mark. I wrote Jericho returns fire. Jericho takes a rope to the roof. He hangs by the rope and chases the shooter, hanging from the helicopter.
Well, because he goes landed on the roof, and the guy's like, there's too much stuff on the roof. I'm like, you just went down on the street to pick up Jericho.
Not
Wasn't
all the
there
way
enough
down,
stuff? But still, he could hop
yeah,
in.
it's in between two buildings there
Yes,
going down.
with lots of cars and stuff. But anyway,
Shooter jumps off the roof, but Jericho grabs him. Shooter pulls a gun. The rope becomes unsecured, I wrote. It comes untied from his repelling shit, whatever he's got going on there. They begin free falling. Shooter falls into a newsstand, of course, because that's what you do in New York.
and it's got a glass top.
Rope, I guess, grabs hold and Jericho drops and chases him.
I think somehow the rope stopped him,
Yes.
but the shooter falls through, but he's not dead.
And right here I wrote lots of action.
Yes.
Jericho follows Shooter into a building, and I wrote, "Oh, is this a subway?" And because he's on tracks, and the shooter screams about 1,000 years has ended. Jericho shoots the shooter and finds that he is a priest. And I wrote, "Is he taking he takes like a clothing store card from his jacket or something?" I didn't know what the hell it was.
With matches.
No, I see that later, but at the time I didn't
He
know.
says the angel is loose from his prison. You don't know what you've done. The 1,000 years has ended, and then Arnold shoots him. And he keeps saying, you don't know what you've done.
Police arrive.
Okay, wait, though. We're going to start. We're going to do one other thing here. And then, do you have an idea of where the world's first subway was opened? It was in 1863.
No, but well, go on. No, I don't know.
The London Underground.
That's what I was going to say.
With steam-powered trains, starting with the Metropolitan Railway between Paddington and Farringdon Street. The first electric underground line and the term subway came in 1890 with
Mind
London.
the gap. Is that what they say, Karen?
Yes,
Mind
they
the
do.
gap.
With London City and South London Railway. But in New York, so London had the first electrical one in 1890. When do you think it came to New York? First modern subway line, operated by the Interborough Rapid Transit Company, officially opened on October 27th,
I'm going to say 1919.
Ah, not bad. 1904. Running from City Hall to 145th Street in Harlem.
Police arrive. Marge, the cop, and Jericho know each other, apparently.
Yeah,
Marge tells
who is that actress? She always plays a cop.
CCH Pounder.
She always seems to play a cop. But anyway,
Marge tells Jericho the priest has no tongue and he could not have spoken to him.
yeah, she says, "Have you been drinking again?"
And then I wrote, oh, it's a matchbook. So they go to a bar. I guess it's the bar from the matchbook, Karen.
Yeah, and I
This
didn't
part
know
goes really quick.
we didn't know he was a cop yet. And I'm like, why is he stealing evidence? And how does he know how to do all this stuff? But whatever. Okay.
Well, I
But yeah,
knew he was, but yeah.
he goes to the bar that the matchbook was from.
And of course, the bartender knows where the guy lives because, you got to take a drunk home from time to time, as he explains.
When then where they go where he was living, Jesus, it's not pretty.
Jericho and Bobby investigate. I wrote lots of religious symbols, pentagram and blood question mark,
But it's like a leaky underground
sewer.
sewer room.
Yeah.
Like it's bad.
And he has words painted on the wall that Arnold reads for us, Karen. I have seen the earth laid to waste. I've seen the horror to come. Is it a sin to wish you were never been born? 1,000 years has ended. 27. So then Arnold finds his tongue and some bloody pruning shears.
The priest's tongue, not his own tongue.
Yes, yes. Bobby is frightened by a cat in the fridge, but they do find a jar with a photo of a girl in there.
Which was weird.
Yeah. Cut to a cemetery. A girl laying flowers on the grave of Thomas and Maria York. Cut back to the New York City place. Police bust in on Jericho and Bobby. Marge tells them that the shooter was a priest and that he studied at the Vatican. Wall Street bankers disappeared.
All right, so
Bobby lets it slip that there's a girl.
they say the priest's name was Thomas Aquinas, and that's the name of an Italian Dominican friar that lived from 1225 to 1274. He was a priest and the foremost scholastic thinker, as well as one of the most influential philosophers and theologians in the Western tradition. Proponent of natural theology and the father of a school of thought encompassing both theology and philosophy known as Thomism. That's kind of nice. I'm going to start a new philosophy called Karenism.
I used to tell I was a Wallaceist. They asked me my religion, but
He argued that God is the source of the light of natural reason and the light of faith. And he embraced several ideas put forward by Aristotle and tried to meld Aristotle thought into the principles of Christianity. He's a famous guy.
okay, good to know.
Just surprised they took his entire name.
Then we got to a subway, and there's signs all over the place to say Y2K, where will you be? Or something like that. We see the girl, who we assume is Christine, on the subway. A creepy guy we saw earlier comes up to her. She offers him money. He takes it.
But he's in her space and staring at her, which was made me very uncomfortable. He almost looks albino, but not quite.
Yes, he tells her that he's coming for you, Christine.
I know that would freak me. At this part would have freaked me out.
And he goes on to say that he's going to have relations with you, only he does not say that.
Yes.
Then Christine touches him and he turns to like glass and shatters. And I wrote, it's all in her head, question mark, because everyone on the subway is looking at her like she's crazy. So then we cut to Jericho in his apartment, drinking vodka, I think, and having Pizza Hut, because there's a box there. Product placement.
No, I didn't notice.
Yep. He grabs a box from the closet because he remembers the 1,000 years has passed. Grabs the box from the closet, pulls out a Bible and some trinkets, including a music box. Next morning, or maybe later that evening, I don't know, he finds the verse 27 something 20.
He cries when he pulls out a music box and cries for a while he plays it, and then he goes back to the Bible.
After 1,000 years has ended, Satan will be loosed from his prison, Karen. Loosed. Cut to Christine. She arrives home.
Quite the contrast to where the priest was living. This is a nice house.
Yeah. She
Fancy.
runs up to the room, and every light on her room is in her room is on for her as she arrives home, apparently. Christine calls Dr. Abel. Apparently he's a psychiatrist. He tells her to take another Xanax and you're
Yep.
fine. It's all in
You'll
your
be
head, just your dreams. You control them, they don't control you. Take another Xanax. You're fine.
talk about product placement.
Stepmom comes up and questions her about her visions. We see that she is the nurse from the hospital.
And she knows about the visions. So obviously Christine has spoken about them.
Stepmom reassures her. Cut to Jericho at a church. Wants to question the priest about the shooter. Priest asks about a girl. Jericho says he does not believe in God. Jericho lost his wife and daughter. Priest says good day. Basically. But Jericho follows him. We see a woman tied to a bed.
Into a basement-like area
Man, she's
of the
got
church.
like stigmata.
She does.
Priest tells Jericho to leave. Cut to Satan walking in the city. Symbols painted in red. He follows them. It's like a map. Then we see the psychiatrist, Dr. Abel, and his family having dinner. Satan arrives. Satan wants to know where the girl is. He's introduced to Dr. Abel's wife and daughter. And then I wrote, Satan having sex with daughter and wife, question mark.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a vision, but I think he's
Two
actually
bare breast. And then I'm like, oh no, it's Christine. And she like one of them.
It
turns
morphs into Christine. Yeah.
And Christine wakes up. Thursday, December 30th.
But I think he is
1999.
having sex with the mother and daughter.
You think?
And then, well, I couldn't tell at first. I couldn't tell what was like. I mean, I could tell what was happening, but I didn't know if it was reality or a dream. And then
he
it does.
He gave him his Satan eyes.
Yes, he did.
Then he had this vision. Or
eyeball
maybe they
acting.
did too. Thursday, December 30th, 1999. Lots of news about satanic cult activity in New York City, Karen.
Yeah, I don't get where that came from.
So then we see Satan arriving at the hospital where the priest is the shooter. Goes to see the shooter. Shooter strapped to a bed. Satan smokes a Marlboro.
But he gets past the guard by saying the stench of young boys you've seduced hangs around you or something. And then so the guard just lets him in.
He says something like, you know who you...
who you follow or honor
like
or something.
Yeah.
Worship, whatever. He's like, we know whose side you're on. Let me in.
So then Jericho and Bobby arrive to find the priest nailed to the ceiling with hemostats and medical instruments.
Yeah, and Satan says you have visions of the future. They say you can see the future, so you must know exactly what I'm going to do to you. And then
we see Satan out on the street, and he gets a kid on a skateboard hit by a bus.
Yeah, because the kid has the shirt. What's it say? Satan rules or something.
Yeah, Satan.
But
rules.
he doesn't like how Satan bumped into him or something.
Satan goes to see Dr. Abel again. Well, I guess he wants to know about the girl. Then we cut the police at the hospital examining the body. There's Latin carved into his body. When 1,000 years have entered, Satan will be loosed.
The doctor can read it.
Yes. And then he says, Christ in New York. Then the priest comes to and tries to stab them with hypodermic needles or some shit. And the bad cop shoots him. He go. Jericho wants to find the girl. He deduces, Karen, that maybe it's Chris or Christine in New York.
Or Christine York, which it is.
Yeah, so they do a quick Google search and, oh, look at here, it's Christine York.
I think it's a DMV.
Yeah, they're doing a DMV thing. Then we cut to Christine working out on a stair stepper, Karen. Whatever they call it.
Stair climber, stairmaster, yeah.
Yeah, guy comes in and says, what, Mabel wants to meet her for lunch? Oh, that's
so get changed, yeah.
Christine undresses and begins to take a shower.
Well, she starts to, but then...
She does take up her top and we have a side boob there.
Yeah, because she didn't wear a bra during her workout, which, come on.
You never wear bras during
That's
workouts,
so
Karen.
so unrealistic.
Come
Well,
on.
you might not.
I might need to. She's going to take a shower. She sees bloody water coming from the bathtub and
Yeah, I thought this was a vision, but it's not.
dead guy in her bathtub.
The guy who just told her that she needs to get ready for lunch.
Yeah, and then men enter the room. She locks all the doors and tries to use the phone. Throws a piece of furniture through the window. Men enter. They search for her.
I
And
think she was trying to make them think she
she
went out the
did, and I
window.
knew that's what she was trying. I'm like, she did. She's trying to make them think she went out the window. But they search for her. Find her in the closet. She fights them with her stiletto heels, Karen.
Yes.
Men pull dagger and tell her they are going to send her to heaven.
Yeah, they start doing the last rites on her.
Cut to Jericho and Bobby arriving to hear her screaming for help. They bust in the house and get into a gunfight.
They destroy a lot of property.
Guy holding Christine down says he needs more time to perform the last rites. Guy tries to stab her. She rolls out of the way. More gun battle goes on in the rest of the house. Lots of fighting. I wrote, everyone has an endless supply of bullets, apparently. Jericho tackles the guy chasing Christine. Guy escapes out a window, but Jericho grabs his necklace. All the bad guys have vanished, even the ones they thought they were dead. They've all gotten up and gone away. Marge and the police arrive. Bobby gives her the rundown. Jericho looks around, finds a music box very similar to the one he has in his box in the closet. Jericho questions Christine. Stepmom has a lot of religious books, apparently. Then stepmom Mabel, I guess, arrives. Jericho leaves but steals a book on his way out. See Jericho and Bobby outside stalking the place, Karen. In a
Yeah, in like
van.
an electric company van.
Stepmom gets a call asking to bring Christine. Dr. Abel then tells Satan she can't come, and he punches him, and I think he punches him pretty hard, Karen. It looked like
I think his head exploded
yeah, I think so too.
because Mabel said, I can't get out. There's police outside, and she can see they're in the van too. And so she won't come. And he says, I can't convince her to come. And then he punches him so hard. I was like, that was gross.
Jericho finds the pendant from the necklace in the book he stole. He knocks on the door, and Christine lets him in. We see Satan arriving outside. We learn the pendant is from a Masonic order, the Vatican Knights, Karen. Christine tells Jericho she has visions. But at this time, Jericho sees it too. It's like a apple that's
They got people squirming on it or something.
people like maggots. So then Satan relieves himself on the entrance to the building, the stairway there. I don't know what it's called.
Front steps.
Yes. Bobby in the van smells something. Satan lights a Marlboro and throws it into the puddle of pee. It ignites and it heads towards the van. Bobby gets out, and just as it does, it explodes, along with a lot of other police cars and other
Yeah,
vehicles.
everybody that was stopping him from getting to Christine is now blown up.
Blown up real good. So then we see Jericho and Christine trying to get away. Stepmom stops them. Stepmom and Jericho fight. I guess her name is
Stepmom's got
Mabel.
some
I wrote Mabel. Mabel's pretty strong.
she's got some strength, yeah.
Christine grabs Mabel. Mabel throws her off. Jericho and Mabel fight some more. Jericho moves her or shoves her head through a coffee table.
A glass one.
Satan enters the building as Christine and Jericho run upstairs. Walks through the flames. Satan punishes stepmom.
Yeah,
she had one
did.
job, Karen.
She had one job, so there was a piece of glass sticking out of her neck, so he shoves it in further.
Christine and Jericho escape out a window. Marge and another cop confront them in an alley. Marge and the other cop shoot at Jericho and Christine. Marge tells Jericho they just want the girl. So Jericho walks, they're behind like a corner or whatever, hiding. Jericho walks toward Marge and the cop with his hands on his head. Well, they tell him to put his hands on his head. I think he knows that's what they're going to tell him to do.
Yeah, he was prepared.
Marge tells the cop to kill him. Jericho pulls two handguns from behind his head and kills them both.
They were in his sleeves, I think.
You think?
Because he puts,
collar.
well, because then he puts them in his sleeves later.
Okay, maybe they are. He's very resourceful, whatever he did. He runs away with Christine. Satan follows. Satan revives Marge because he needs her. Doesn't need the other cop. Tells her to call her people and find them. Jericho questions Christine in Central Park, question mark, because they're in the woods, it looks like.
Yeah.
Christine doesn't know what is going on. He questions her about Satan. Christine says she has seen him in her dreams and he makes love to her in her dreams and he's been doing it her whole life. She's afraid that if he takes her, she will want him. Jericho takes Christine to the church he was at before. And priest says Satan can't see inside the house of God, Karen. We see the woman who had stigmata earlier. She looks a lot better
She
now.
does.
But we learned she fell into a trance and started giving a prophecy. She's some Polish woman or something. Priest wants to know about if they know about the number of the beast, Karen. Have you heard the Iron Maiden song, The Number of the Beast?
A few times.
Yeah. But I mean, in 1999,
99.
yeah, it was 14 years old by then. He writes 666 on a piece of paper, turns it upside down, becomes 999, the year of his return. Priest shows her a symbol. She has the same one on her arm. She's the chosen one. Every 1,000 years, Satan comes and tries to find the chosen one. Has to happen New Year's Eve. Jericho wonders if it is Eastern time. He ain't buying it, I wrote.
Eastern Standard Time.
Priest tells them they must have faith. Jericho prefers his Glock,
Yes.
his gun, Karen. Jericho tries to convince Christine she will be safer with him, but she believes what the priest tells her.
He says, the priest is convincing. You know it's true. You can feel it. You need to stay here where you're safe.
Cut to the Pope, being told the girl has been found in New York City. Pope says we must protect her.
Yeah, I was expecting him to just smile or something.
Even
and
right
be
here, yeah, I
evil.
wasn't even sure I was trusting the Pope right here even. See Jericho at his apartment. Satan is there waiting for him.
And here we get the Batman moment.
Yep. Satan produces a Christmas tree. Ornaments he recognizes. Daughter in the tub. Wife gets her out. They talk about dad and how he's never home. Satan offers to give them back to Jericho again. All he wants to know is where the girl is. He says, "You told me once you'd do anything to get your family back."
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. And
Men
he goes
enter.
and he says, this girl means nothing to you. You can have your family back. And, he's kind of right. I mean, the girl, he hardly knows the girl, but,
It's like he's testing his faith, but Jericho has no faith.
or he thinks he
Really?
has no faith. That's the thing.
So men enter. Jericho tries to stop them, but he doesn't exist there. The men carry away his
Oh,
wife and
well,
daughter
so
and
he
kill them.
refuses. So the Satan says you can have all this, and Jericho refuses. And that's when he says, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make you relive the pain. And he shows him what happens when he wasn't there.
But it's not over because he's like telling him, "You were an honest cop. You had to testify against the bad cops." Satan says he can
Even though
make
they
it like
threatened
it
your
never
family.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Satan says, "I can make it like it never happened." Jericho punches a mirror and everything disappears and behind him because that's when we're seeing all the blood-stained walls and whatnot, which is kind of a good shot. Jericho calls Satan a choir boy.
You're a choir boy compared to me.
Jericho refuses to tell him where the girl is. Then we have this debate. Satan debates about how good God really is. Again, Satan offers Jericho everything he wants.
They talk about God and what a dick he is.
Yeah. Jericho tells Satan to go to hell. And then Satan says, "Sometimes hell comes to you." Grabs Jericho by the neck, holds him against a window, but it's kind of out a window in a way. Jericho refuses to tell him where the girl is. Satan throws him out the window, but he grabs onto the windowsill. Glass cuts his hand. Satan offers his hand, and right here I knew exactly what was going to happen as soon as this started. Jericho reaches up and grabs Satan and tosses him to the ground below. Jericho washes the cuts on his hand. There's a knock at the door. And I wrote, well, that's not Satan knocking. I don't know who it is, but it ain't Satan, I'm pretty sure.
He wouldn't knock.
Yeah. Jericho runs down to the window, sees Satan is no longer on the ground below. Jericho goes to the door. It's Bobby at the door. Jericho questions Bobby. He's not sure he's really Bobby. He shoots Bobby in the arm, and Bobby bleeds.
He does.
But Jericho says, "It's just a scratch, pussy."
He was just testing him to see if he was who he said he was.
Bobby says he'll get an agency car and they will get out of town. Jericho tells him to meet him at the church in 1 hour.
Well, first he says he almost, because Jericho's like, I thought you burned. And he said, well, I almost did, but I got out of the car and then I woke up in a ditch. And then they go through the whole thing. And then Bobby says, I'll get a car. Just tell me where and when to meet you. And that right there, you're like, well, okay. And he does tell him St. John's Church in 1 hour.
Guess we're at the church, Karen. A cardinal arrives wearing the same pendant as the Vatican Knights.
Christine notices it.
He's part of the Vatican Knights. Cardinal tries to stab Christine. Jericho enters and shoots the knife out of his hand and then shoots his hand. The priests say they're not afraid to die, but Jericho says, good, because I'm not afraid to kill you.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty good. They let Christine go, Karen. Church begins to shake and the candles ignite in flames. Lots of fire. Satan enters. Every time that happens, that means Satan's there.
Yeah, because he gets to walk through the fire.
Yeah, Satan begins killing the priests. Jericho and Christine run out into the rain. Then Satan breaks the neck of the cardinal. Jericho and Christine blocked in an alley. Bobby arrives with the car. Jericho takes a baseball bat to a guy. Jericho tries to get in the car after Christine gets in, but Bobby begins to drive away.
He locked the doors.
Jericho jumps on the back of the car. Bobby accelerates and throws on the brakes, knocking Jericho off. Gang of people in the alley attack Jericho. Big fight scene. Jericho tries to grab his gun. Satan arrives, tells Jericho he should have taken his offer.
Yeah, he's outnumbered. It's like 25-1 at that point, and they're pretty much beating the crap out of him.
Satan is going to torture Jericho. He wants him to see what is going to happen. Satan gets in the backseat of the car with Christine, and the car drives away. Satan has crucified Jericho, hoist him up with a block and tackle, I assume, Karen.
Yep.
Friday, December 31st, 1999, 7:19 a.m. Father Kovac, the priest at that church, finds Jericho the next day, I guess, or that morning. They tell the Pope they have failed. Pope said it is our darkest hour and that we must have faith. New Year's Eve, Times Square, Karen. Cut to the church again. They're stitching up Jericho. Jericho gets up and leaves to save the girl after he's told he's lucky to be alive. I got stuff to do.
People to see.
Jericho collects weapons and arms himself from an arsenal, apparently.
I thought he went to the police station. I'm like, they would not let him just walk in there and do that. But it turned out it was the security firm he worked at.
Yeah. He uses the company's computers to run a license plate and finds where Christine is being held.
Yeah, it's Bobby's license plate.
The license plate of the car Bobby is driving, which belongs to the company. Jericho's outside and Marge arrives. It's an abandoned movie theater, apparently. Jericho follows Marge inside, follow the painted symbols. A blind doorman lets Jericho in. He smells what's in his heart or something, Karen.
Yes, he says he smells of hatred and vengeance. You can pass.
You may pass. And I wrote chant in Latin. Maybe Karen will know what they're saying.
They are chanting.
Lots of candles. Marge sees Jericho and begins looking for him. Looks like Satan is preparing to mount Christine on the altar.
Yes.
But
apparently she has to be on an altar for him to successfully perform his duties.
But, he likes foreplay too.
And an audience.
Yes, and he kisses her. Jericho tries to blend in with the others. Marge looks for him.
I'm just going to let that go. Sorry.
Well, it is. It's true. What's he waiting for? Marge looks for him. There's a gunshot.
Jericho, yeah.
Yeah, there's a gunshot, and Marge is dead. She gone again. She's been killed twice in this film. Jericho uses a machine gun and mows down most of the Satanists. Jericho threatens to kill Christine. Holds a gun to her head. Bobby arrives. Bobby confronts Jericho. Jericho and Bobby in a standoff. But then we see Bobby is conflicted.
He is.
Satan touches Bobby and he goes up in flames.
Well, because they'd say at one point, Bobby says, it's amazing what you'll agree to when you're on fire. So he was brought back to do this mission, and then he can't do it. So Satan reverts to show him what his reality would be. And he burns him.
Jericho shoots a bunch of rounds into Satan. Bobby flails around and burns, I wrote.
Yeah. Nice stunt double.
Jericho shoots a grenade launcher, starting an explosion in, I guess it's the basement of the theater or the boiler room or something. I don't know. He and Christine run away. Satanists block their way, and Jericho shoots a grenade, blowing a hole in the wall.
That was pretty funny. It's like, can't get out that way. We're just going to blow a hole in the wall and leave.
They jump through and wind up on a subway track. They drop, and the subway goes above them.
Do you think that works?
No.
Okay. Because you see it a lot in movies that they drop to the ground and the subway goes over the top.
They jump into a subway train, and Jericho shows Christine how to shoot a gun.
She says, "Show me how to shoot. I want to help. I want to do." And I'm thinking, they don't have time for this, first of all. And second of all, I thought it would be more significant that he taught her so that she would do something later that, but no, it's just he's telling her, okay, here's how you do this. Here's how you do this. Watch out for the recoil. And I'm thinking, that was silly, I thought.
But she does kill a Satanist in the process.
Yes, she does.
Train begins to head down the tracks. I don't know who's driving. Some conductor. I don't know where he came from, but whatever. We see Satan standing in the tracks. Jericho tells the conductor or whatever driving the train not to stop. They hit Satan.
This part is way too long. All of this stuff in the subway.
Yes. Then I make a note later, very soon, how much time is left. They run to the back of the train and look for Satan. Satan reaches up through the floor of the train and grabs Christine's legs. They shoot him. He comes down from the top of the train next. They shoot again. He puts his hand through the conductor's body and throws him out. Jericho and Christine run to the back of the train and try to separate the cars. Christine and Jericho get separated. Jericho leaps from the back of the train onto the car that has been
which
separated.
Defies physics, I think.
Well, they're both
but it's going away
the
from
same direction.
I guess, but he's going to have to
It does not defy physics.
He's launching from something going in the opposite direction of where he wants to go. So his feet are going to go backwards. There's no way you could do that. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, because maybe he should just jump up straight up in the air, because then
then it would have come to him. But he tries to launch from some. It's like you slip on ice. You can't go anywhere. It's going in the.
Yes, his speed. Whatever. Yeah. And Christine pulls him up because
his ankles are definitely broken with the speed that they're going.
Satan chases after them. He leaps towards the car. Jericho shoots him with a grenade. The train explodes after sending.
I think when he does all that, I think he's like cut in half or something, so he can't heal that.
The car that Jericho and Christine are on impacts the burning train. They survive and run away, Karen. And I wrote, Satan not dead yet. And he taunts Jericho. And then the spirit leaves the body of Satan in 11:51 p.m.
It's like he's got 9 minutes.
Yeah. And then I wrote 17 minutes left to Karen in the film. Jericho and Christine arrive at a church. There was a service going on. Jericho fires his gun, prompting everyone to leave. And we see the Satanists trying to get into the church, but they bar the doors. Jericho tells Christine to hide.
Christine and Jericho bar the doors, yeah.
Yeah.
With long candles, sticks.
Jericho looks at all the religious statues and throws down his weapon, and he asks for God's help.
He's starting to have faith all of a sudden, I think.
Church starts to shake. Right.
More fire. More fire.
Then I wrote, hole in the cupola opens.
Wow.
All hell breaks loose, Karen. I wrote. Lots of shit goes on. I just wrote all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, things are exploding everywhere. Yeah.
Giant bat creature raises from the ground. It enters Jericho and throws him around the church. 11:57 p.m., Karen. We got to get this show on the road.
I know.
Minutes. You better Whatever.
That's what you better go.
No more foreplay. Let's go. Jericho yells for Christine. She runs to him. Apparently she's barefoot this whole time. I didn't even realize. He tells her that it's over and they have won. Jericho grabs her and pulls her towards the altar. And right here I wrote, sword.
Yeah, we see the sword. I said it apparently they have to have sex on an altar for all this to work.
Christine pleads with Jericho to fight him. Jericho begins ripping Christine's clothes from her. And I wrote, sword. Again, we get the sword. Jericho fights, kissing her. He tells Christine to run. She does. She gets up, runs away. Jericho throws himself onto the sword, impaling himself. And apparently it's the statue of Archangel Michael holding a sword. The ball falls in Times Square. Fire engulfs the church. Demon head sucked down into the earth. Jericho sees his wife and daughter in the church. Jericho gone. Christine takes his hand and thanks him. Police and fire department arrive at the church. Everyone's celebrating a new year. Credits the end.
So much destruction in this film. You know, like so many buildings blowing up. It's funny because all that's happening. Buildings are blowing up all over the place. The gas lines are blowing up, but everybody still goes down to Times Square. Like,
It's New York. What are you gonna
I would
do?
have stayed home.
Yeah, all the Satanists are out too. You hear all the reports of the Satanists.
Yeah, I guess they can tell who they are.
All right, Karen. Did you enjoy your Apocalypse Bourbon Cocktail?
I think it would have been better with ice. That's all I'm going to say.
What are you saying? What do you mean ice? There's like a whole ice tray of ice in this thing.
Well, my ice maker is broken though,
Oh, yeah.
so I don't have any ice. So I think diluted it would have been much tastier.
I thought it was delicious. Mine is evaporated.
Well,
Even
I'm
most
glad
of
you
the
liked
ice.
it.
Yes, thank you, Karen. That was a fine choice.
I do what I can.
Choice. All right, anything we learned today, Karen?
We learned about Kevlar, Subways, Thomas Aquinas. Is that it?
I think so, Karen.
You got some Iron Maiden references in there.
Well, as you do, Karen.
Anytime you have a movie like this, you're going to automatically get
You
one.
said the number of the beast. I mean,
Yeah,
duh.
but they're wrong, according to this movie. I'm sure it's not the same. 999, the number of the beast. No, doesn't work as well.
I give them an A for effort. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
Well, we always have to thank our listener. There are so many podcasts out there. Thank you for choosing to spend time with us. About you, Greg, who do you need to thank?
I'm going to once again thank our friends and listeners, Keystone State, Karen, and the band Verse 13 for providing all the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
The music definitely makes the podcast better.
Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly, especially tonight.
Yes, and yeah, be extra careful. It's crazy out there, boys and girls.
Happy New Year.
Indeed.
Thanks for listening to the Scary Spirits podcast, where the movies might be iffy, but the drinks are always solid. We would love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast, or go to our website, scaryspirits.com. And if you want the direct line, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. If you really want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And remember, always drink responsibly. See you next week.